Okay, so I'm recording another video with my Android phone, and I'm at my mom's place right now. Um, it's been an interesting time. You see, today I believe is Friday, and ordinarily I would be at my apartment, I would be getting ready for work at this time and all that. But I had a knee injury Wednesday, December 9th, and I have not been to work since. I've had so many medical appointments. The emergency room at Centerpoint, several appointments at Concentra. I had my first physical therapy appointment yesterday, and we're scheduling an MRI appointment to have an MRI scan on my knee. So I'm in good hands medically and have workers' comp and all that. So basically, here's what's going on is I'm not at work and I'm spending some time with my mom, which my mom was lonely for me anyway, especially around the holidays, I suppose. So it's been great spending time with my mom. And so I spent a lot of time on the floor, and I have my crutches right here next to her filing cabinet. And look, here's her little Christmas tree. Now, of course, I'm recording in grayscale mode, so you can't see that it's red, but it's actually red. Oh, and she has her plants that she grows. She grows a lot of plants. She's growing some tomatoes and some other things. So that's cool. So anyway, um, so basically, I have a lot of appointments. I have a lot of physical therapy left to do, and I have to be able to walk again. I have to be able to walk on both knees without pain, and I have to be able to lift heavy stuff again. I can lift heavy stuff with my arms, that's not a problem, but my right knee especially can't take hardly anything. And my left knee doesn't feel too good either because I've been putting more weight on it because of the failure of the other. So I'm not doing too well right now with my health as far as my knee injury is concerned. But since I have physical therapy and I have a good doctor that's working with me as far as that goes, hopefully I'll recover. And because I still have some money left from my 401k, I had to spend a lot of money getting my orchiectomy done back in September and all that. And so, but I still have some money left, so I can afford to pay my rent for this coming month for January and pay my utility bills for a while. But I have to be able to recover and get back to work sometime in the first half of January so I can start earning some money. Because otherwise, I'm going to run out of money and end up homeless. And I don't want that to happen. But even more importantly, I need to be able to walk. And I can walk, it just hurts my right knee if I walk around very much. So I only do it when I have to do something, you know. But I also try to move around more anyway because the rest of my body is not getting enough exercise. And when I don't get enough exercise, I don't feel right. I'm used to moving and I'm used to exercising. So I'm trying to get more exercise, but I also don't mind having a little Christmas vacation at this time either. So that's kind of what's happening. So hopefully I'll make a recovery. Hopefully I'll be back to work in January is the way it looks like this is going to go. Because I still have 5 more physical therapy appointments approved currently. So that's what's going on as far as that and my knee injury, in case anybody didn't know about my knee injury. And I think the focus of this video will be about on my own personal health and happiness and well-being. Because I've recorded a lot of videos, and a lot of my stuff has been deleted off of Facebook or YouTube, and so I never really know what will be remaining that people will see. But I've also joined Parler and MeWe, which are these 2 new social media sites that have less censorship. So that's cool. But for the purpose of this video, I'm not talking about all of the things that get me censored, and I think you know what things, and Monique especially knows what things. Basically, if you speak the truth, people don't like it and they ban you. There's no freedom of speech, there's no freedom to express what you know to be true. And there's a lot I say that I know to be true, but people disagree. And it's very interesting because We are lied to. We are very, very badly lied to in this society. And as an example, I was playing this new game. Technically, it's an old game. So there was a game, Harvest Moon Friends of Middletown, a long time ago, for Game Boy Advance. And then they made a remake for the Nintendo Switch and other platforms, but they called it Story of Seasons, Friends of Middletown. It's been renamed from Harvest Moon to Story of Seasons, and there's actually disagreements between companies and legal reasons for the name change, which is cool. It's a great game. It was probably the best Harvest Moon game that there ever was, and I love it. Plus, it allows gay marriage now in the new update, which is super cool, because I'm always a lesbian in farming games. So anyway, but I was playing this game, and the characters, they lie. And they try to say that, oh, you should eat an egg a day. Eggs are healthy for you, and you should drink milk. It does the body good, and so the characters, the NPCs in the town are trying to give health advice. They're trying to tell you that eggs and dairy products are healthy for you. Which of course most people still believe that. So the people making the game don't know any better. I'm sure they've heard that they have to eat animal products to be healthy. Most people believe that, but people who've been vegan for many years, some people have been vegan over 50 years and are doing great. You know what I mean? Yeah, you don't need to eat animal products to be healthy, and you can be healthier on a vegan diet. And that's just a fact. YouTube would probably ban me just for saying that. Because they don't like people telling people anything about health unless it's some doctor or some idiot from the CDC. So, that's just what goes on. But anyway, back to the topic of health. One thing is, now that I don't have my testicles anymore, obviously my hormones are lower than what it was, and I'm very menopausal, and I'm having hot flashes and weird stuff right now. So I basically am an old lady. That's basically what it is. I'm like an old lady now, because my hormone levels are probably the same as my mom's. So I got my hormones tested again recently, but I have my main doctor that I'm going to see about my health, and we're going to get my hormones right and do a full checkup in January. So I've got everything planned out. So I'm going to do everything I can to get myself recovered from my injury, get back to work, see my other doctor, make sure all my blood results are good. And it's kind of interesting because I'm obviously probably going to end up needing some form of hormone replacement therapy. But here's the thing about it that's very interesting. In my particular situation, which I'm sure people know, since I've told people that I'm transgender. See, that's the thing is, I just look like a dude with messy hair, is what I look like, of course. But so here's the thing is, most people who have had their testicles removed are men who have had testicular cancer. So they take testosterone, so they still retain their manliness, and they can still, if people who take testosterone supplementation, even after a bilateral orchiectomy, they can still get erections and they can still have sex. But that's because, a lot of them are married, a lot of them still like sex, and they want to do that. But since I've been a virgin for my whole life, and I'm 33, I'm not interested in that. And in fact, I have to say, on the whole, it's been a great trade, because I'm no longer having the testicle pain that I endured for 2 years. And the only problem I've really had is, some hot flashes and just feeling weird and smelling differently. And I don't really mind it so much. But that's temporary anyway, because I'm going to do something with my hormones. But that's the thing is, I don't want to take testosterone replacement. No, I don't want to do that, because then I would start having erections again, and I don't want that. So, a lot of TMI in this video. But just know in general, when I'm talking about health, I don't leave anything out. And this is very important. You see, so theoretically, if if I take estrogen, I'll ask my doctor about that, because if I take estrogen enough to keep my estrogen high enough to protect my bones and all that, then maybe it will have the same effect as transgender hormone replacement therapy, and it would maybe over time it would make me look more female, which would be cool, you know what I mean? And the thing about that is, I would actually like that. Because you see, that's usually the first step for trans women. Usually it is. That's the very first thing they do, is they see a doctor and they start on, some anti-androgen like spironolactone to block the testosterone, and then they start on estrogen. But there are reasons I haven't done that. I would have liked to, but there are reasons that I didn't, due to financial and insurance and practical reasons and health reasons. But now, here's the thing is, now that I don't have testicles, I don't have to worry about anti-androgen drugs, which can be very, very harmful. So really, all that I really plan to do is ask my doctor, okay, how are my hormone levels, and what can we do about maybe raising the estrogen if necessary. I don't know for sure what she'll say. If it's necessary to raise my estrogen or progesterone or whatever to help protect my bones, because I do have low bone density. And that's a very weird thing, because now I had really whack hormone levels even before my surgery. And I have so many symptoms of Klinefelter syndrome. So many. If you don't know what Klinefelter syndrome is, and if you don't know about intersex conditions, and chromosome disorders, you really need to educate yourself. But there are so many people who have extra chromosomes, or they have missing chromosomes, but I am almost certain that I have Klinefelter syndrome. And anybody who knows how to do the karyotype blood test and check my chromosomes could find out. But I probably will have to pay for that myself at some point in the future if I really want to know, because I don't think any health insurance would actually be willing to pay for something like that that's a curiosity thing. Now, here's the funny thing is, it can't, like, the majority of males who find out that they have Klinefelter syndrome are adult married men who are having sex with their wife, but they can't produce children, because people who want to produce children, but Klinefelter men are infertile generally. They produce little or no sperm. And so that's one way they know something's going on. So, like, they'll go to a fertility clinic, they'll go to a urologist, and they'll ask the doctor what's up, and the doctor will order tests. One of them might even be a test to diagnose Klinefelter syndrome. But because of my particular situation, I probably won't have any chance at getting insurance to cover a genetic test like that. But it sure would be cool to know. But regardless of what my chromosomes are, because I don't know my chromosomes, because I've never been tested. So I'm curious. Someday maybe I'll find out. But what I do know is I'm very happy with the results of my orchiectomy. And I hope that my knee recovers and I don't have to have knee surgery, because I don't like surgery. I really don't. So hopefully the orchiectomy was the only surgery I'll have in my life. And so... yeah, so I'm going to talk to my doctor about my hormones and do whatever they tell me to help my knee recover from this injury so I can get back to work. But spending this time with my mom has been good. Now, she's actually gone right now. There's a holiday party she's actually going to right now. So I'm at her place by myself, which is the only time I can record a video. And one thing I do want to mention, because I've talked a lot about my own personal situation with my job and my injury and my health and hormones and all that stuff. I've talked a lot about that. But there is one more thing before I end this video that I do want to talk about. There are people that I really admire, okay? Now, here's the thing. I have very few friends. I have very few people that I really care about. But here's the thing. A lot of people are too fearful. You know what I mean? And, like, for example, I have one friend I've known for years online, and we play Minecraft together, who doesn't want who doesn't want people to know their real name. Sometimes they do use their real name, but they'll go on social media and they don't want people to know anything about their real name or where they live because they're literally afraid people are going to come and try to kill them. And then there's even a coworker I have that, we get along and we talk, and we were talking about, hey, we should do a podcast, but he wanted to have a different name, so that the government doesn't come after him and try to kill him for what he says. So so I literally know people who are afraid of that. That are afraid, oh, well, if somebody finds out that I have this opinion, if I say this in a podcast or video or whatever, or say this on social media, then someone will find out where I live and kill me. And why is that? Because it does happen. Like, this is a reality you have to deal with in the world, that sometimes people might, like, in some places, people find out you're gay or transgender, and they might come and kill you. Or they might find out that you don't believe the dominant religion. Like, it doesn't happen so much here. Like, people don't try to kill me because I'm an atheist, in the U.S. But if I was in an Islamic country, anybody who's a Christian, Jew, or atheist would probably be killed because they're not Muslim. That does happen in some places in the world. So, yeah, it's true that people have to think about their safety. And so, as a matter of policy, in fact, I call it my own personal privacy policy. So when my friend tells me that he doesn't want people to know who he is, doesn't want people to know his name, doesn't want people to know certain things that he's told me, then I'm like, well, sure, I get it. If I don't have the right to tell personal information about somebody else that they don't want people to know. So that's the thing, is I do my very best to not mention the personal things that they've told me that they don't want getting out. But people do share some of their secrets with me, and so whenever I am talking, I'm always very open about myself, and I leave nothing out. And some people really wonder why I do that. Why do I just tell every aspect of my health and things, And I'm like, well, quite honestly, why not? You realize I live basically as a very alone person. I visit my mom. I have a few friends that I talk to once in a while, but the beauty of being a single person is that I get to do what I want. I don't have to worry about a spouse or kids or any of that nonsense. And then how, you know what I mean? I don't have to worry about that. So if I say something and then somebody doesn't like what I say, and they kill me over it, then big deal. If this is a world where I get killed for stating my opinions in a video online anyway, or in one of the books I wrote, then I don't want to live in a world like that. I really, really don't want to live in a world like that. And so and I share many unpopular opinions. People who really know me know what I'm about, and it's like, big deal. But you know what? We're all gonna die anyway, and we always can hope that we get to do more before we die, But one other thing, I've been writing part 3 of my unicorn story, the one where I talk to Honesty the unicorn. I already published the first 2 parts on my blog, chastitywhiterose.wordpress.com. I already published that, and some people have read the first 2 parts of my unicorn story. And pretty much, if you read my unicorn story, you pretty much know everything about me that you never wanted to know, So for people who are extremely bored during 2020 and COVID lockdowns and stuff like that, who can't think of anything better to do than know all my personal details of my life, some people are into that. You know what I mean? But I have to admit, hey, I spend an unhealthy amount of time listening to other YouTubers and the things they say too. Like just yesterday actually, I was eating burritos and I was listening to Classically Abby. I don't know if you heard of Classically Abby, but she's actually Abby Shapiro. There's this guy named Ben Shapiro, and he has a sister named Abby Shapiro, but she calls herself Classically Abby on her YouTube channel. And she's really funny, you know, and I was listening to this one video of hers where she was responding to pro-choice comments on her pro-life video. And I'm like, oh man, her responses are brilliant. I love her. Like, seriously. Yeah, so anyway, so I listen to a lot of other people and what they have to say in their videos, and I read a lot of other people's blog posts and stuff, you know, because I like to read other people's opinions too. But yeah, I've published so many books. I'm about to publish another book that has my whole unicorn story, and I have a lot of videos that I've done. And so I do things, I like to express my opinions online because I kind of hope that in the future I'll meet more people who are like me. But this I will have to say, of all the people that I know in my life, there is only one person that I really know that is truly brave as I am. A person who is willing to talk about the most difficult topics, the most controversial topics that there ever were, you know? And that is Monique Lukens. And that's because how much we agree or disagree is not the point. The fact is, um, somebody who's actually willing to do podcasts and talk about things that are not popular opinion and that you can put your life in danger when people know you have certain opinions. I like that because people who are like, oh, well, I'm afraid I don't want people to know who I am, you know, because they might attack me, you know. And I'm like, hey, I get it. I understand. You know, your life is your own. You do you. Protect yourself. I get that. But you know what? I like people who are bold. I like people who are like, you know what? I'm here. This is my life. This is my one time to say what I'm going to say and do what I'm going to do. And so nobody's going to stop me unless they kill me. So that's just what I'm saying right now is all of you people who try to censor free speech and delete people's accounts or go to their house and try to shoot them and kill them because you don't like something they say or believe or do, you know, all you people like that, you know, you may think that you can threaten people and simply scare them out of saying the things you don't want them to say. But you know what? I don't appreciate threats. It takes more than that to stop me because I am a single adult who lives on my own, except right now because I stay with my mom and spend some time with her while I'm recovering from a work injury. But you know what I mean? Like I'm a single person. I live in my own apartment and I work my job and I don't have family attachments. I don't have a wife or husband and kids to worry about. So all I have is I have my own life and I have my mother. You know, really. And after my mom dies, it's going to be very different, you know. So, but the fact of the matter is, so many people have so much more to lose than I do. I mean, how much more can I lose? I already lost my testicles, you know? So, anyway, that's just my personal rant because I haven't recorded a video in a while, and I just wanted to get some thoughts out there and let my friends know what's going on because, yeah, I had a knee injury, and so I've had a little bit more time to think about where I'm going in life, what I want to do, play video games, and watch some Tim Hawkins with my mom. Tim Hawkins, oh man, he's a great comedian. Seriously, if you don't know who Tim Hawkins is, okay, so he's actually like a Christian comedian. So he goes to various churches all over the United States and does comedy. He just does stand-up comedy. He sings funny songs, and he's just hilarious. Everything he says is funny. He's great. Yeah, so I highly recommend Tim Hawkins if you're looking for a good comedian. And also, if anybody else happens to know of any really good comedians, and I'm talking about not just your one of the mill comedians, I'm talking about comedians that can be funny without saying cuss words every 5 seconds or without having every joke be sexual. I hate it. I listen to Tim Hawkins because he's clean comedy. You know what? Sure, he's a Christian. He talks about God and Jesus and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't care because I would rather listen to that than fucking bitch pussy shit. All the time. Like if you're listening to Robin Williams or George Carlin or somebody like that, yeah, they're funny, but they ruin it. I'm sick of all the swear words that are just filler. I'm not one to avoid swear words. Like, you know what? I'll say holy shit, occasionally in life. But you got to do it when it's right, when it's really relevant, And sometimes we say words that we don't ordinarily say just because we're so angry and there's no other word that we know to say except what we've heard others say. So I'm not really I'm not really too upset by cuss words, but when that's all you hear out of their mouth and everything is some sexual joke about who fucked who and all that, I hate that. That is not funny to me, and I hate sexuality too. So that's part of it. So I want comedians that are not really sexually minded and who don't use a whole bunch of cuss words just because they're looking for fill words because they don't know what they're going to say next. That's not comedy. That's just stupid. So yeah, Tim Hawkins is a good comedian. I'm focusing on my health. I have a lot of opinions and I believe in freedom of speech. And Monique Lukens is really cool because she does podcasts with me, when we have the time. And we did one episode of our comedy podcast, and I put that on MeWe and Parler. And even Facebook, I think. So that's just what's going on. I guess that's all I have to say for now. So, see you later.